Radio.
You're listening to Cryptocurrent, the only podcast that explores the bold projects, exciting opportunities, and the growing reach of blockchain and cryptocurrency. Whether you've got skin in the game or you're just crypto curious, keep an open mind, enjoy the conversation, and stay cryptocurrent. Now here's your host, Richard Carthon.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Cryptocurrent. Your host here, Richard Carthon, and today I got a special guest. We have Michelle with Asensys. How you doing today?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Thanks for having us.
Of course. Well, Michelle, if you don't mind, get us started by telling us a little about yourself. Give us some background.
Sure. So I come to the crypto or blockchain world with over 20 years of experience in marketing. Before joining Asensys, I headed up major marketing and branding initiatives for consumer brands such as Starbucks, Chevron, down into some of the software technology brands. And what attracted me to the world of crypto and then also based on blockchain is truly the potential of decentralization, and then that it lends to security, and through that journey of understanding the power behind the Web 3.0, as we call it, is the problem of scalability. And that is truly the purpose of why, how Asensys was formed as a project and then also as a company today. And that we're super excited to be sharing with the world on our unique approach to creating a better internet, a more secure internet, and also achieve scalability at the same time.
Gotcha. Wow. So, sounds very interesting. The fact that you were able to work with all these different companies, I'm sure that you have a just plethora of knowledge that you could share with us today. But I want to first ask you, what was your first introduction into the crypto and blockchain space?
My first introduction into the space was as it relates to the few decades of experiencing the evolution of consumer experience and interaction, how much adoption, how much utilization we are relying and also dependent on the internet right now. So when you look at anything from Internet of Things to Alexa to a mobile device, imagine the amount of data that is being shared on any given second, any given minute. And the fact that we as owner of those data, but we don't own the data from it. So we fall vulnerable of the data breach and then also the security behind it. So that was really the journey that I was on, and then how I met our founder, Dr. Brandon Wang, who led key initiatives at Microsoft Research in distributed systems. And then he started educating me and mentoring me about blockchain technology, and then started the idea of Asensys. And then so that was how he brought me on board, and then recruited me, and just have been continuously opening my eyes on the possibility of crypto as well as on blockchain.
Gotcha. So what year was this, roughly?
Asensys, we just launched our website about 5 weeks ago, but that was a good 16 months in the making,
Gotcha.
almost 2 years in the making.
Gotcha. So your first introduction was probably around 2018, 2017?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So now kind of shifting gears, tell me a little bit about Asensys and, what's the backstory on it and what are you trying to accomplish with it?
Sure. The purpose of Asensys is we're trying to unleash the limitless potential of decentralized application. And we know that there's a coin term called the blockchain trilemma. And speaking of the trilemma, it represents that for the technology for blockchain to achieve decentralization, security, and scalability, that is the trilemma that currently cannot be solved for. And we are here to solve for that blockchain trilemma through a very unique approach, where we took it. I think there are a lot of companies out there that have said we have solved for scalability, but haven't really quite yet. So what Asensys does is, from previously I mentioned about distributed system. So we're going into the core of the problem. The core of the problem is the fact that we identify there's a lot of redundancy. There's a lot of inefficiency and redundancy within the current transaction process. So we developed an approach called the asynchronous consensus zone. And utilizing the asynchronous consensus zone, then we are computing and then also making each of the nodes and each of the transaction, each of the computation even more efficient. The analogy that I really like to give is, imagine you're at a checkout line at a grocery store, and there are 5 people in front of you, and you're probably thinking, oh man, I have a basketball game I gotta go to, I have to pick up my dry cleaning, I have to take my kids to the soccer game.
Right.
And you're probably growing more and more frustrated. But all of a sudden, the grocer opens up 10 other checkout lines, checkout stand, and each of them are equally operative, and then as well as providing the same great service. Wow! So all of a sudden, everybody's happy, and then you're transacting through it, and it's a win-win situation for the customer, for the consumer, which is going to be the user, the developer, and then also at an enterprise level, and beneficial for the people, for the grocer. So it's basically that grocer example analogy is kind of the one I like to draw parallel to Asensys, because that is exactly how we're approaching it through the synchronous consensus zone, by creating more opportunity so that each of the transactions is even more efficient. And meanwhile, we also have developed proprietary technology like the Choconu mining that ensures the security of it, and then also eventual atomicity, which is the key consensus protocol that allows for massive parallelism with constant overhead.
Okay. So just to unpack that a little bit, I think the biggest takeaways that I just got from all of that is, one, that you are trying to solve the scalability trilemma that you just described. And one of the ways that you're doing it is by using your consensus model that you've made to be able to help with mass scalability. So what are some different types of use cases in the sense of, if I want to build on top of the Asensys blockchain, what are some different ways that companies would come and use it?
That's a great question. I think in the short run, we are looking at launching our testnet in the summer timeframe. So we're going to be inviting developers to come on and experience Asensys. A very important news is that Asensys platform will be able to integrate will be able to work with all types of cryptocurrency. So if you are currently a developer that is utilizing certain type of cryptocurrency, Asensys will be able to provide you with what you need. So every developer will have an opportunity to really truly experience and then test out the Asensys platform and achieve and experience that scalability part of it. So the developer, so going back to what I mentioned, I think in the short run, the developer can experience Asensys, find an easy and then also efficient way in building the application, the decentralized application, as well as be able to ensure the security and then that decentralized state of what they're trying to build. In the long run, going back to the original purpose and what drew me to Asensys is the fact that we have a very dire need in the enterprise level for this right now. Every day, as users, our data is being put in the hand, and we're in a vulnerable state because companies, enterprises own us, and enterprises are on some level, they have to assume the responsibility and are being held accountable by legislatures of potential data breaches. But imagine in a new Web 3.0 state where it's based on under the blockchain and supported by Asensys in achieving scalability, enterprise as well as users can now not just be able to operate and then also utilize the internet, utilize any type of a application, any type of a product, but truly with a peace of mind. And that peace of mind and confidence and trust is what blockchain promises for.
Gotcha. Okay, so above all, you're just trying to make sure through the Asensys blockchain going after the enterprise level that the end user is going to have the security that they need, as well as the companies that are doing are building on top of this platform can be secure in the privacy that you're providing for your end customers, but then also for the scalability of knowing that as you scale up and get more and more users, that you're not going to have to worry about things becoming less efficient.
Yes, I think it's also just to support and achieve the potential of blockchain technology. When you think about blockchain, there's a lot of cryptocurrency that have been developed on the blockchain technology, but why isn't blockchain seeing massive adoption? Scalability is truly one of the key elements that is preventing it from reaching mass adoption. And I think
Definitely.
that's something that we at Asensys feel very passionate about. And I do know that there are many colleagues and peers within cryptocurrency and blockchain world that shares the same passion.
Oh, absolutely. And thank you for clarifying that. And scalability is always going to be a massive issue. And if that's the main thing that you are attacking and making sure that it is getting solved, then that's definitely going to be very useful for whoever comes on and builds on top of it. But kind of building on that, you've been in the crypto and blockchain space for a couple of years now. So I'm sure that you're aware of quite a few projects that are in the space. What are some other projects that have your attention right now?
We tried to keep our technology team definitely have a more precise sense, and then also in monitoring what other people are doing. I focus a little bit more on the operative end of things, on making sure that it scales, and then also the experiential side with developers, with users, and then also on the enterprise side. So one of the key things based on where I'm focusing on, I try to look at our approach in a very complementary manner. Complementary is that how will our platform and our product complement the use cases of developers, making their experience better and more. Because we truly believe that a disruptive technology isn't just relying on the technology itself. What makes Uber successful isn't because, it's because they reached a scaling and a tipping point of recruitment of drivers and then also riders. But it also requires an operational infrastructure. Any type of like Airbnb is another great disruptive business model. So at Asensys, while we're focusing on looking at others and also their technology, we are also very focused on the experience side, how it will operate, how we can take this model and take the technology to scale, and how we can prove out into it. So from my angle, I look at it on, Ethereum is always one that we're looking at as a project, and ensuring that we are all working together to achieve the better state of Web 3.0.
Yes. And I think you bring up a very good point of looking at the operational excellence of building this out to where it can work. Because a lot of I've kind of used this analogy in the past, and I think a lot of companies have come and built really cool islands. And now we're getting to the point where there's a gazillion islands out there, but there's not a lot of bridges. So if you can be the company that builds the bridges to connect all these amazing islands, like that is what's going to be super powerful and useful.
Yeah, that is a great example. Absolutely. The island and bridges for sure.
So also with everything that's happening, 2020 shaping out to be an extremely interesting year between everything that's happening with the coronavirus, with a potential recession headed our way, and like everything else going on. What are some things that are going on from a micro and macro level in the blockchain space that you think people should be aware of?
That is a great question. I think it is the objective and the culture that we built here at Asensys is truly. It's focused, especially in the stage of our life life being Asensys right now, being a startup. Coronavirus is it's a very important and actually a very relevant topic on our mind right now, because we do have we have a global team.
Right.
And we have operation in Asia, we have operation in Europe, and both of those continents are being hit hard. And then we have operation here in North America. So one of the key things that we have been reinstating with our team member is that focus on what you do, because the global economy will get impacted. We all know that. I mean, the stock market in New York has obviously reflected that for the past couple of weeks.
Right.
But so it is important for us to continue to focus on what we do. So technology team continue to really hone in and build your technology. In terms of our team in operations, we're continuing to really looking at experience level, what our user want, doing research, and then also creating and having those conversations on mapping out what the optimal experience look like, what the stages of the developer to enterprise look like. So truly focusing on what we do every single day. And then there's also the second part, which is we are already a digital workplace. So we utilize a lot of technology, Zoom, remote workplace, IM, chat, constantly. We're utilizing multiple mediums in communicating with one another. So that part of it, we're already ahead of the game. So there's no transformation there. But the third part, I think, is something that we're very much focused on, is ensuring and ensuring that our employees, that our focus never changed. And depending whether it is the coronavirus or it's any type of a competition announcement because we know how fast the blockchain technology is evolving, and also how fast people are claiming to have solved for the scalability part of it. So our focus will never change, and we will continue to adapt to the user. We are creating a disruptive technology, and we all know that. And in order to successfully achieve successfully build a successful disruption model, we all know that we have to do something different and do something better. And that is really, truly what we're focused on every day, whether it's any type of distraction, environmentally or something like a coronavirus.
Definitely. And staying focused on just achieving the team goals and everything to move your project forward as everything else comes along. I think it's very important. And it's also just knowing that your employees have that sort of security with no matter what's going on, like, hey, we're going to put our head down. We're just going to grind through this, because we can't really control the external forces around us, but we can control what we do, I think is a great way to hone in on y'all's craft. So I think that's a good answer. And to that point, again, I appreciate you coming on the show today. Thank you for letting us know more about Asensys. What is a final thought that you want to leave with all of our listeners here today?
Thank you. Once again, thank you for having us today. It's truly a pleasure, to speak to other enthusiasts about the blockchain and also cryptocurrency. And we, as I mentioned, we are launching our testnet in the summer timeframe. So please stay in touch. We have a lot of exciting announcements to share. And please, you can follow us on Twitter at Asensys Chain, or you can visit our website, www.asensys.com. And we are more than thrilled to continue to share our progress and then also our development with everyone in this blockchain space.
Amazing. Well, again, Michelle, really thank you and appreciate you for being on the show today. And for everyone listening, stay cryptocurrent.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for listening to another episode of Cryptocurrent. For more information on this episode and all of our episodes, please visit us at www.crypto-current.co. Stay up to date with the latest news in cryptocurrency. You'll receive daily emails Monday through Friday that are personalized and curated content specific to you and your interest, powered by artificial intelligence. Are you an accredited investor looking to invest in cryptocurrency? Crescent City Capital can help. Go to crescentcitycapital.com for more information. If you're finding value in our content, please take 5 minutes to leave a 5-star review and a great comment. Also, please make sure to share this podcast with others. Hello, everyone. I hope you're enjoying the quality of this podcast. I can only thank my amazing producer, Andrew DeRitter, with DeRitter Productions, who has put this together. If you have any podcast, visual, or video needs, please go to DeritterProductions.com. That's DERITTER Productions.com.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Cryptocurrent with Richard Carthon. We'll be back with more exciting developments from the world of blockchain and cryptocurrency next week. But until then, stay cryptocurrent.
Please use available exits now.